Okay, this is the follow-up video to our SQNM pick from last night. We always say we're gonna follow up with a video to show you how we handled it, if you will, on an intraday basis, because we don't know how it's gonna open or how it's gonna trade at the open. These are yesterday's candles over here, but this was the opening candle, 5-minute candles. Okay, had an early high of 642. Remember, we said we liked it at 653, a break of yesterday's high. Now this is important since it opened at 642 and sold all the way down to 625. Okay, we're not going to call it at 653 because it's already made a good percentage move just to get there. So that's the reason for these follow-up videos, to teach you what we do on an intraday basis. We actually called it a couple times today. Our first call, since it sold off and then bounced to right here, it looks like the high was well, let me get the drawing tool off there. Had an early high with the exclusion of the opening candle, okay, bounced to 638. So we called it and went back down. We said 639 might be enough to get you through the high of the day. The high of the day break might be enough to get you to our 653 catalyst, okay. Again, we don't want to take it at 653 because it's had to come all the way from down here. That's already made a measured move percentage-wise, but we still think, hey, it might make its way to 653, and that could yield some more upside. So let's try to find a way in early in case that happens. Okay, so the first call was right here at 639. As it broke this high, we thought, hey, that might be enough to get us through the high of the day. Worst case, stop down here below this tight base. Get the lines out of the way. So 639 was the call. Worst case, stop 632, 7 cents risk. It did trigger, did not follow through and get the high of day break, and pretty quickly stopped us out for a 7-cent loss. We called it again as it came back up here on a high of day break, said 643. I think we actually said maybe 642 above this break, but 643 high of day break. Again, worst case stop below this base at 632. So an 11-cent risk this time. 643 was right here. There was your high of day break. Again, your worst case stop here, but as we teach, once you get a move in your direction, start selling some and get to a break-even stop, okay? So this time at 643 popped pretty quickly to 666 to give us our revenge. We did get to that 653 break of yesterday's high, and it did give us a little more upside, but the smart entry there was right here. Now I basically had a flat trade in SQNM because I bought it here, sold it here, bought it here, and then sold a little bit into this pop here. I'm not sure exactly where actually I can bring in that chart here. Hold on. The chart that marks my buys and sells. Try to make this bigger for you. Okay, this was my first buy, right where I said a break of this high, and it didn't get through the high of the day. Bought it in a couple parts, and so killed it here. Bought it again as it was getting to there, breaking through the high of the day in a few parts, and then started selling here. Didn't get any up in the 660. So basically you can see pretty much a flat trade for me. Probably should have held some and given it a chance to move, but pretty much a flat trade. Going to show you some other stuff we did today that was of much better consequence. This CPBY, let me move this out of the way first and show it to you. Gapped up. Let's go to the daily first. This is my best trade of the day right here. Huge gap up. Normally trades very thin, but I mean you can see the volume today. It was set to open around 670. Okay. Then using 15-minute candles, a very clean pullback. That's not what I meant to do. Let me try that again. Okay, so here was your opening candle, consecutive lower tops, a nice narrow 15 here. 671 was the call. I actually told the room I was grabbing it as this candle was forming with a worst case stop below the low of the day. And I did get the 670 trigger. In other words, the first break of a 15-minute candle's high, which was right here. But started grabbing it in the 660s and then sold some on the way up, and I think I even sold some in the 720s. Actually added, okay, I profited, took some on the way up, and then and I kept some, okay, and as it formed this tight base here, added some more right here because you had a tight base with the high of day just to the left, and it did get through the high of the day where I started selling some of my add moved my rest of my stop to break even and stopped out somewhere flat here on the rest. But overall, a pretty nice trade. I'll try to bring that into picture here. The light speed charts that actually mark my buys and sells. Figure out how to zoom in here. So as you can see, let's see, these are, let's go to 15-minute candles like I showed you there. Okay, so this is where I started buying and sold some pretty quick into the pop. Sold some more into here because I thought the whole number 7 might be a resistance. And then we had this base I talked about. As it broke this base, I added again here. Added to the ones that I had left, okay? So, in other words, put some money in my pocket, okay? Still had a 660 something, maybe a 670 average. So then, after I had money in my pocket, felt comfortable adding right here with the base break with the high of day to the left, knowing you had a catalyst here that it could get through the high of the day, and people might start getting excited as it got through this base and start buying again. So, added here, sold my ads right here, and put the stop on the rest where I added. And so mostly I was out probably 80% of it here, and then stopped here in the green too, and was done with this trade. Here's another one we played today, AEN. These are 15-minute candles again. Started calling it right here. This was a cheapie. Right in here, but around $1.58, and then scaled out. Pause this for a second. Okay, there's the chart. So you can see where we started calling it here, and then sold some as it broke the high of the day, and sold the rest right up in here. So that was a nice percentage gain, because the buys were around $1.58. Sold some around $1.64, and then some up in the $1.70. So, you know, not a huge move money-wise, but percentage-wise, it was a nice move. So that one worked out nicely too. And, you know, I had a few other trades on the day as well. And show you how, that's my day's results right there. So if you notice, and one thing I try to always stick to, keep my losses small. Had a couple nice gainers, 734, 400. Some flat ones. That was a definite flat trade. But most of my losses, you can see, are under $100, and this one went over 119. But overall, a very nice day. So hopefully you can tell from these videos, we try to find low risk stuff. Where, like, you know, for AEN, for example, the triggers were right here. The stop was, I think, about a nickel below. I'll have to go over the charts later and double check. But almost everything had a fairly low risk stop. Okay, this CPBY. Let me get this back out of the way now. This CPBY. We started grabbing in the 660s, worst case stop right down here in the low 650s, I think. So everything we do is always based on low risk setups, and if you're going to trade and you're going to stay in the game, in my opinion, that's the only way to do it, is to be patient and wait till the chart gives you low risk opportunities. Here's another one actually, AIB, and what happened to me was I took it here, loved it, and I lost my connection, couldn't get back on my broker, and so when I did get back on, and maybe you had the same thing, because some people said they were getting messages from their broker that there was data feed problems. So when I did get back on, I just killed it for a small gain. And as you can see, that's unfortunate because I was worried about connection problems, so I just killed it again, a small gain. Took it here at, I think, 345. And killed it at 349, but a very nice measured move all the way up into the 370s. That's a great percentage gain. And the only reason I killed this, and I killed the whole trade, is because I was worried I wouldn't be able to get back on, and I don't like leaving anything open. So, but another example of a very low risk call today. Where's my drawing tool? Love this tight base here. These are intraday 15-minute candles. Love the base break on a longer term chart. Looked really good. So we had the 345 with the stop. I think we called it around 340, maybe 337. But it didn't take very long to get to a break-even stop right here. And again, had I not had connection problems, I could have reaped the benefits of this nice percentage move too. So, all right, I'm going to stop babbling and wrap this up. We'll try to send out a free pick next week. Could be any day. I wanted to say early next week, but you never know. We try to find you know, stocks that can make measured moves. So we'll see. But have a great night, and we'll talk to you next week.